Hello, this is Blue Star, Tips, Fender of Equestria, and this is my next Focus On video. This time, the Crystal Bright House, Part 3. Or more precisely, something that happens in Chapter 5 that you should probably go watch Chapter 5 first before you watch this video. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, it's Misty's room in the Crystal Bright House. Roar! Aww. I must admit there may not be a lot here that's quote-unquote analyze-worthy, but I couldn't help but take a look through Misty's new room and see what we can see and learn about it. So, roar! So we're actually going to start off with this image, which is basically the main six actually setting up Misty's room to begin with, and as far as I could tell was one of the best, overall views of this room, and no, it's just so nice. I like it. This almost shows the pony's almost subconscious psychic ability to predict the future. Because originally this room was just a common area. It had some very nice paintings of these flowers and stuff around it. But now that Misty has moved in here, all this floral artwork on the walls really works well with her butterfly cutie mark and everything. So roar! So now on to Misty's room itself. It's I must admit at first it doesn't feel like there's a lot here. I mean, obviously they're still unpacking it, and apparently she has a lot of heavy stuff. Overall view of this room, it's actually pretty nice. She's got a butterfly mirror. It actually looks like there's some flowers and stuff over in vases and stuff. So, okay. Again, the Crystal Bright House really likes plants. So, roar! There's kind of this, again, I'm a computer programmer, not an architect. I don't know what all this stuff is called. But she has this really cool, almost quarter canopy thing. And it's with this drape. And it's all covered in these beautiful butterfly decorations. It's aw, that's nice. A pretty decent shot of her bed. But I think the following shots might be more interesting. And there's some sort of basic kind of wood shelving thing going on here. There's currently nothing on it because the main six haven't even finished unpacking yet, so. Speaking of which, it looks like this bin contains some of Misty's childhood toys and all that, so. Interesting. The most interesting, it appears that this is a wooden toy unicorn thing, so. Okay. And there's some kind of interesting pictures on the wall, but we'll look more into those in future shots. The thing I do want to analyze and discuss a little bit is the stained glass window. I think Misty's is a little bit more straightforward than some of the other main sixes. I guess because it's more obvious of what it's trying to represent. Because it's not always their cutie mark and then some other stuff. Sunny's is just the sun, Zip's is just her cutie mark and some clouds. But here it feels kind of straightforward. Because here we have almost a representation of Misty's cutie mark. It's actually not her exact cutie mark. It's just basically just a butterfly, but it's in kind of the style and the colors of her cutie mark. Then we have a teapot and what appears to be alphabetical. In some ways it's kind of straightforward. It's here's Misty and two things that mean a great deal to her, T, and obviously much more importantly, her dad. So I guess in this case, the stained glass window really is just representing Misty and sort of two things that really matter to her. And it also looks really cool too, so roar. So in this image, we get a much better view of Misty's bedroom, especially her bed, and particularly those pictures that are on the wall. From this view, I've realized that the stained glass window doesn't actually take up that whole wall. The stained glass window is actually only taking up a small portion of this much larger window. There's a couple of interesting things here. The main one being the pictures on the wall. The first is obviously alphabetical, and I just love his expression. It's just hee hee, hi, everybody. Just big, giant, awkward smile, but I like it. And this thing, which I'm not certain about, but I guess it could be a flower of some kind. And this picture, which is kind of difficult to tell from this angle, but it does appear that this is a picture of all the main six, probably standing in front of the together trees. There is one other sort of interesting thing that if we zoom on this bunny cord plushie, we can actually see these little patches, which probably indicates that this was such a beloved childhood toy that they actually spent the time to actually repair it and stuff, so no. Other than that, there's not really too many other interesting things here. There's sort of these leaf decoration things that are on the shelf. shelves. So in this shot, I think we get in some ways a really good view of the bed itself, and I actually kind of like it. It's got this kind of cool, like natural made look going on, and ironically is kind of reminiscent of the Dark Castle. But even so, I still like it, and I think it's kind of nice, and I actually kind of like these colors. The fabric and like the color schemes and the stuff on it is kind of unusual, and I've just realized that the sheets are actually made with that fabric that Easy bought from the night market. So now moving back over to the shelves, that obviously they're full of books now, so that's good. I mean, what's the point of having shelves if you don't put anything on them? So first thing is we see that it's the picture of Misty when she was just a little filly. No. And I had an interesting thought of, what if this is that exact picture that Alphabeetle had in like the tea room, and now he's like giving it to Misty. Now that they've been reunited, I kind of like the fact that she's given her this picture. So otherwise, there's not too many other things to analyze here. I mean, there's this very brightly colored cup next to what appears to be a water pitcher of some kind. And the water pitcher itself is actually kind of nice. I guess it's a pot with a plant that's kind of growing in it. So, okay. And then there's this thing that also looks like it might have plants growing out of it, but it also kind of looks like it's a watering can of some kind. So, okay, but either way, it looks kind of nice. So there isn't honestly a lot of stuff in Misty's room, and some of it's kind of, ordinary stuff. It's like, oh, here's a cup, a water pitcher, and some books and stuff. But overall, I actually really like this space, though. It's really beautiful. It has all this natural elements and references to it. It's got all these lovely butterflies all over the place. It's just a really nice space, and I think that it fits Misty and her cutie mark very well. But in any case, it's just so nice to see that Misty finally has a space to call her own, and I look forward to seeing how Misty and this space grows and changes in the future. So, roar! Before I end this video, there is one last thing that I'd kind of like to talk about the Crystal Bright House, is that there is now one area in the Crystal Bright House that we have not yet seen. It's kind of like what appears to be this attic area that's on like the right of the Crystal Bright House. And I'm still wondering what might be there, or is there nothing there but just an attic? But this whole thing with Misty's room kind of almost implies that maybe there's nothing there now, but there could be something there in the future. So, we shall see. So, I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, thank you for commenting, liking, and subscribing, and until next time, this is Blue Star. Stay strong, and pony on. Blue Star out.